Alright, let's see if this works. Alright, should be working. Alright, everybody, sorry about the little technical difficulties here. Okay, this is Hearts of Iron, Darkest Hour, New World Order 2. I believe is what the name of this mod is called. Now, I do not play Hearts of Iron 4. I don't play anything past, Hearts of Iron 2. Darkest Hour is just an evolution, just an upgrade of that game. The reason for that is because I prefer this control scheme. I like the art style and the overall general look of this game. Also, the modifications that are for this are, I think, a lot more entertaining than the newer ones. However, some of those are interesting. Some of the Cold War stuff, some of the alternate history things. Now, I don't necessarily mod this game. What I do is I tweak things, and I create custom campaigns for myself. This is one of them. This is the Angolan Civil War. Now, we're having some technical issues, as always, with these videos. There's going to be no sound in this. I apologize. One reason is technical issues. Second, I can't play music in this game because it's all copyrighted. There's Creedence Clearwater Revival and, bunch of different music in this game. So, a lot of it is like Vietnam War era type stuff. And some of it is a little controversial due to, well, of course, this is East-West Germany, but, a country that had a particular government. Yeah, so. Anyway, we're not going to get it too much into that. Okay, so this is going to be a bit tricky. We're going to turn the speed down so we're not, like DeLorean ourselves into the future here. DeLorean ourselves into the future, that's an interesting one. Okay, so we have some crack divisions here. We have our Namibian allies, which are a puppet state of ours. They're fascists like us. We're playing as apartheid South Africa because that's appropriate. So basically what we're going to be doing, yes, I know, some of these are going to be controversial. I can't do anything about that. We're going to start an offensive in the south of Angola. Now, the Cubans have already landed about 12,000 troops here in Lobito. And they also have, we can't see it here, but they have a small fleet here that came all the way from Cuba. And they've been at sea for well over a month. And they have tanks and fighter jets and many different things like that. Now, we do have a much larger air force. Of course, it shows like World War I biplanes. Some of the countries in this, as time goes on, the guys that made this modification never updated the pictures. So I don't care. I just think it's funny. The sprite for this is like a B-1 Lancer or whatever, and then it shows like a Lancaster bomber from World War II, and then you click on it, and it's like a biplane. So it's like, there's some goofy stuff like that, So try to ignore some of that because, like, there's nothing I can do. Like, this is a U.S. Army truck, example. If you want to know what the South African Air Force or the Angolan Air Force, any of this stuff looked like at the time, you could just Google it. It's not hard to do. Okay. So, these are some Angolan forces that are retreating south because we're driving them into a kill zone. And then we have a Cuban division of infantry that's also being driven up north into the jungle here into a kill zone. Now, the CIA, historically, and also I've done this in this game too, the Americans have done this, Ronald Reagan. Okay? So, it's always morning in America. We have our rebel forces that are mucking up things here. So only 8% is being suppressed by the Angolans and the Cubans, and 35% is kicking up some dirt. So that would be U.N.I.T.O. I believe, with Savasavembi, I think was his name. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so we're having some attrition issues up here in the north because we can't resupply them. We're inflicting some pretty heavy casualties on them. Let me see. That's not bad. We're going to turn off the attrition messages because they're not really important. And we already know that we're making contact with them. Okay, we are now in contact with the Cubans that were retreating north into our kill zone. Um, they're commanded by an Angolan officer. That's interesting. I know that a lot of the Angolan forces were commanded by Cubans, so that's not entirely historically accurate. We're inflicting more casualties on them than they are on us. They're losing more motor vehicles and infantry. We're just losing more infantry. Okay, there are some... Yeah, again, the supplies are a problem. Weather is a problem, too. How's the weather? Bad storms. When I did my first playthrough this, um, we did not have that issue, so that's interesting. Okay, we could turn the speed up just a tiny bit. Okay. Just concluded diplomatic deal with our allies. Okay, so we have some strategic bombers here. The weather is so severe we can't do anything about it. How are the air bases here? Okay, we are going to send our strategic bombers up here so they're closer. They're not intercontinental, so we have to keep that in mind. We have some tactical bombers here that are, they should be British made. Some of them are also American made. Excellent. Okay, so we're already turning the tide. Okay, we've captured 50 enemy personnel. The weather is still too severe. We're making good progress on the ground, mostly due to the road network in central Angola, so that's good. Unfortunately, my plan to drive them into a kill zone didn't work. We'll lose the north, but we'll gain the south. If they launch a surprise attack against us in the east, we can counter that. Has the weather improved? No, it has not. It only has for the west coast. That's, you know, that works. Hey, it's fine with me. Okay, so... we can't do a port strike. Our tactical bombers can do a port strike. We need to hit the Angola Navy. The Cubans are still there. We'll knock them out, too. And up here in the north, we'll do a logistical strike with our strategic bombers, and we'll start a carpet bombing operation up there in the north. We have some transports here. They are armed transports. We could send them up north, and they shall be there within 24 hours. Okay. Bombing run's looking pretty good. Okay, so we've conducted over 6 airstrikes. The reports looked better than what they were in real life. Okay, so let's slow it down a little bit. Do they have ships there? No, they do not. And if they do, our intelligence cannot detect them. So we shall do ground support operations both day and night for the next month. Our strategic bombers, they're going to continue carpet bombing up there in the north. Okay, that should be fine. And then start doing ground support. Okay, they have over 30,000 men. Okay, let me see. They have a pretty interesting mixture of units here. 2 infantry, 2 motorized, but they vary in their technology and their land doctrine. So we have 2 infantry, 1954, 1958, so that's sort of Korean War era. Then we have 1968, 1974. So that would be like Soviet Warsaw Pact, Vietnam era. And then we have post-Vietnam, 1976. This is a crack unit. All of these guys have very good experience. However, compared to us, we are at a 40% experience rate. And these guys are only at a 4 point something to a 5 point something. So, they have a pretty good leader. They have a lieutenant general. Or lieutenant general commander, rather. And then we have a major general of the Air Force. Who is our most experienced leader? We're going to need... We don't have one. We have a bunch of generic commanders that are just called commanders because people were too lazy to add in real, you know, real leaders. Okay, due to the coast here, we can't pick up our infantry here, so an amphibious attack is out of the question. However, we will conduct a naval interdiction here, both day and night, for the next month, because they're armed transports and some minor ships with them, corvettes, stuff like that. Okay, so we have no armor. Uh, the South Africans didn't really have armor. They had, like, armored cars, infantry fighting vehicles, stuff like that. They had some tanks, which is demonstrated here. They are, like, basically what we would consider a tank destroyer, more or less. So, okay, so let me see. How's the infrastructure in these places? It's all piss poor. So the south is going to be the main vanguard to push up here. The two in the east will support. All right, let's begin. Okay, so their defenses held in the beginning for the first hour and then broke. And now we're penetrating deep into their territory. We've captured some of them. Our airstrikes are doing their job. You don't have to keep telling me, I'm well aware. Okay, so we're going to win the Angolan Civil War, basically. Whoa! Okay. That's a lot of men they've lost. So our initial reports, sometimes in this game the initial reports that say like 46 or something, sometimes it's more like 600. Depending on if there's attrition, multiplying that number. Which we have no way of knowing because we're not playing as the Cubans or the Angolans, so there's no way to know. Okay. Yeah, so the Angolans are going to get slaughtered. As far as the Cubans go, they're holding out. Their tank division, trained by the Russians. What's our casualties? We're taking a lot of losses. The Namibians came in right at the end for the big win. They all surrendered. We're going to march into the capital. The war is going to be over. And that's that. Okay. So the racist, fascist regime of apartheid South Africa just won the Angolan War with their intervention. So the geopolitical and cultural significance of this is great. Although there's no way to predict any of these things, without a crystal ball or whatnot. The communist forces up here in the Congo would more than likely attack Cabinda. Furthermore, due to all of this here, because we have various socialist groups here massing in the east. So Mozambique and Zimbabwe, backed by the likes of, Mengistu Mariman of Abyssinia, the communist forces there. Backed by the North Koreans and Chinese. Also with the Cubans, it would be a major defeat to them. It would be a huge morale hit to Fidel Castro and his regime. So, and they're still at war with South Africa and Namibia. There would be a treaty, they would negotiate, and they would be embarrassed. The Castro regime, because of this, might even get deposed in the coming years, depending on what happens. But as far as the ramifications of this in Southern Africa, only time will tell. Only time will tell. I think what would happen is that eventually the South Africans would lose control of Angola, because most of their forces are too busy defending their country proper. Their only ally is a puppet state, and their sort of ally, Botswana, hates them. But, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, this is a Pyrrhic victory. It would hurt the communists, and it would hurt Cuba. In the end, South Africa would be in an even weaker position due to the exhaustion and expenditure of manpower, material. Um, that would be that. So it's a Pyrrhic victory. So they won the war. Anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll try to get some background music for the next video that's not copyrighted or something, so it's not just me running my mouth. Anyway, stay tuned for the next video. We're going to be doing some more campaigns of this. Short mini campaigns, of course.